Hello, everyone. Welcome. Very excited to have you today. And thank you for your patience while we got things set up. But yeah, we're happy to see there's a large crew today, eager to learn about the gold card for digital talents. If you're here, it's because you're hopefully coming to WordCamp Asia this coming March, so 7th through 9. So if that's not what you're here for, you should still say, and maybe you'll come. But we have a great bunch of people here today from the Taiwan Computer Association who are going to be discussing about this gold card and also from the gold card office itself. And to start and get this kicked off, I would love to introduce Jonathan Liao. He is the director of the Taiwan Employment Gold Card Office. So please, when you are ready, take it away and share us with what you have.
Thanks, Destiny. Let's wait for the screen to start. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, WordCamp Asia, for inviting me to today's seminar on the gold card. I'm going to start my presentation with some fun facts about Taiwan. I'm sure everyone coming to Taiwan has some idea of it, but I just figured I'll share some more information. So besides the amazing events that you will be attending, Taiwan has a lot to offer. Most of you may be familiar with Taipei 101, but besides the city of Taipei, there's a lot of countryside, a lot of activities outside of Taipei City that's, I think worth your time to investigate. Obviously, we also have a lot of night markets with amazing food. So Taipei, as you know, is very centrally located. So it's actually a very great place and convenient place to live in Asia. So all of these cities can be reached by Taiwan within a 4-hour flight time. But what many people may not know, besides, Taiwan's actually been involved in a lot of different inventions on the technology side. So quite interestingly, Taiwan's actually introduced the numeric countdown timer, which is an animated avatar that helps, for people crossing the road, and is slowly being adopted around the world. As you know, Taiwan is also very strong in manufacturing. So up to 75% of the original electric auto parts for the original Tesla actually were supplied by Taiwanese companies, as well as all the amazing products and technology that's been produced by the companies on the side. But many people do not know this. So Taiwan also invented the N95 mask. So this was quite a crucial component during COVID times. And as well as the USB flash drive. One of the co-founders of this was from Taiwan. But also cat cafes. So people who are interested in cats, we've started to see a lot of cat cafes pop up around the world. It actually started in Taiwan as well. And finally, I'm sure everyone knows bubble tea. So during your visit to Taiwan on WordCamp, make sure you get your bubble tea fix. So now that hopefully you understand what Taiwan can offer, but as an expat location, people aren't aware that Taiwan is actually very highly ranked. In terms of health and well-being, Taiwan is number one according to some expat surveys. So as well as the personal safety, Taiwan's a very safe and convenient place to live. So hopefully these traits will attract you to Taiwan. So this all translates into the quality of life. So living in Taiwan, it's because of the safety, the convenience, and the things to do, it's results in quite a happy demographic. So overall, we're ranked number 3 in the world's top expat destinations. So now hopefully that you have an idea of what Taiwan can offer and you'll want to consider staying here longer. One of the best ways to do this right now is the Taiwan Employment Gold Card. So at its core, the Gold Card is basically a 4-in-1 ID card. And it provides a lot of benefits, which I will go through. So of the 4 specific benefits, I guess, is first of all, it's a work permit. So this doesn't mean you need to work in Taiwan. It just provides the permission to work in Taiwan. So you can work in Taiwan full-time, part-time, or freelance, or even work remote. It's just an open work permit that allows you to live in Taiwan and work for anyone you choose to. So obviously, being in Taiwan, one of the crucial components is you have a right to reside. So it's a resident visa valid for up to 3 years. So during these 3 years, you can come to Taiwan, stay in Taiwan as long as you want, There's no restriction. It's different from visitor visas, which may have 30 to 60-day restrictions. The Gold Card does not have any restrictions on how long you stay in Taiwan. So during those 3 years, you're allowed re-entry, which means you can leave and come back as you choose. Finally, the Gold Card looks like the card in the middle. It's called an ARC, or an Alien Resident Certificate. Essentially, it's an ID card that will make your daily living in Taiwan more convenient. You'll use this to apply for bank cards, or for a cell phone account. Beyond these, so the main difference between a resident and a visitor is, you'll notice this immediately when you come to the airport. With the Gold Card, you will enter the resident and citizen line as opposed to the foreigner tourist line. Means a much quicker access. There are also employment Gold Card counters that are right next to the speedy immigration counter for ease of travel. Other benefits of the Gold Card. So as a resident, you can join Taiwan's healthcare. This only happens after you come for 6 months, however. But Taiwan is very well known for its healthcare. It's one of the top healthcare systems in the world. Very affordable, very convenient, and very high quality. So this applies to all the general healthcare, the hospitals, clinics, which you can join and use the services after you've joined the national health insurance. With the Gold Card, you can also join, you can apply for bank accounts. Obviously, living in Taiwan, it's quite a crucial component. It's individual bank accounts. It also comes with a credit card, allows you to join the Taiwan online banking systems for ease of payment. Your family can also join us. So if you're married, your spouse and children up to 20 can join you on the resident visa. So say you get your Gold Card for 3 years, then they also can have the same benefits during those 3 years. Your parents can also visit Taiwan under a visitor visa that's more extended, up to 6 months, which can be renewed up to 1 year at a time. So after you've been here on the Gold Card as well, so if you've stayed in Taiwan and you meet the residency requirements, there's also fast track to APRC, which is the permanent residence. So if you've been in Taiwan for up to 3 years and you meet the resident requirements as well as a few other requirements, you can then apply for permanent residency and therefore live in Taiwan for even longer. So how do you qualify for the Gold Card? So the Gold Card is slightly different than a lot of most common work visas. So a lot of visas are asking what you are intending to do in Taiwan. The Gold Card is actually based on your qualifications. So this is your professional or academic qualifications. There's 10 different fields for the employment Gold Card listed below. So it ranges from people from backgrounds in economy, in finance, culture and arts, or the others. And under each of these fields, there will be a criteria that you only need to select. So you fulfill one of the criteria, provide the documents, and therefore that's how you apply for it. There's over 70 different criteria, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but essentially, if you have any questions on these other fields, the best way to find out is to have a look on our website. Today, I'll talk a little bit about the other fields, but obviously, most of the people joining the WordCamp will be in the digital field, which my colleague Anita will explain further on. So I think one point we want to drive across is if you find yourself not fitting in one of the fields or in the digital field, chances are there's something else that you can consider. So the different types of criteria essentially has to do with your how much you've spent in a particular business field or perhaps an area of study. One of the easier ways more direct ways to qualify would be showing a monthly salary over the equivalent of NT 160,000 per month. So say you work in the fields of economy or finance or scientific technology, if you qualify for this monthly salary, then you would show a tax statement, proof of certificate of where you've been working, as well as a CV, and that's basically your qualification to apply under that criteria. If you don't match that salary, though, there are other criteria you can consider. So if you've been an executive, or if you've been usually around 5 to 8 years plus experience in a particular field, you can also consider that. Under finance, for example, if you have different certifications in as listed below here, they can also qualify you for the gold card under finance. Under science and technology, it's more of a research in different frontiers. So if you have particular experience or inventions or publications or even patents in specific areas of technology, this is also a possible area you could consider. One of the newer ways actually that we've adjusted the gold card for is actually in education. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you are a teacher or a professor, but if you have a PhD, a doctorate degree from what's considered a top 500 university, that's also one way you can qualify. So top 500 is according to the rankings from the QS World Rankings or the Times Higher Education Rankings. So if you've attended a university and you have a doctorate diploma, that would actually help you qualify under education. So again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are in the field of education, but your previous history, you obviously having obtained a doctorate, you're sufficiently qualified. If you are a teacher or a professor, then there's also different criteria you can consider. So this is also the same in science and technology and economy. So digital industries, just to say that there is also one for digital, people who are in the digital industry, such as AI and big data. But Anita will go over this in more detail later. So how do you actually apply? So the whole application takes place online, which is very convenient. So you can apply from within Taiwan or from abroad if you'd like. It consists of basically creating an account on the online application platform, filling in information, and then uploading the correct documents, including your passport, photo, and providing an online payment. Once that's complete, it will go through two different steps of review. First one is an information check, basically which country you're from, and assessing your documents as it is. And then the second part will be the qualification check, which pertains to the field of industry you've applied under, and as well as the criteria. So the documents that you do provide do need to match which criteria you're applying for. So make sure you read the gold card at websites or the different information. Make sure you understand what you're applying under. If you have any questions, that's kind of what we're here for. So after the qualification check, the final step will be a passport inspection. Usually this takes place at the TECO offices or the Taiwan Economic Cultural offices in your region. So up to this stage, it's because it's taking place online, the final step is basically identity verification to ensure that the person applying is you, so it's a physical inspection. So once that's complete, you can actually download a resident certificate, which provides a single entry to Taiwan. So you use this paper document during your travel, and then you pick up the card after you've come to Taiwan. The cards will be available at the National Immigration Agency that you choose. So after that, with the card, then the entire step is complete. So I'll just provide some statistics on the Gold Card program. So we actually started in 2018 after a Recruitment Act for foreign professionals was passed. So this provided different regulations in order for foreign professionals to come to Taiwan. Again, so this act actually covers a lot of different areas, but today we'll be talking mainly about the Gold Card, which is the highest level, pertains to what we term the foreign special professionals. So over the years, also during COVID, we've seen a great increase. So we've approved now over 8,700 gold cards across many of the different fields. The most common one is economy, as it covers the largest area of business backgrounds. But we've also seen a lot of people in science and technology, in education, and in finance, as well as culture and arts. So there's a lot of performing artists, journalists, people in broadcast and visual arts. So it's quite a diverse program, which is really neat when you consider the amount of people coming and the community it's starting to build. In terms of the nationalities, most of the people are USA American passport holders, followed by Hong Kong, Japan, and as well as the United Kingdom. But also from India, Singapore, and all over. I think we've just broken over 100 different nationalities. So means people from all over the world really are interested in coming to Taiwan. Again, also this is based on their passports, so it's not necessarily depending on where they're actually from, because what we found is people in the gold card love to travel. They're coming from all over the world, which makes Taiwan a much more global society. So some notable gold card holders, Steve Chen, he's the co-founder of YouTube. He's actually the first gold card holder and still living in Taiwan. He's enjoyed his time here. He's renewed his gold card and continues to stay here and work with startups. Those in the blockchain, I'm sure you're familiar with Vitalik. Vitalik Buterin is the co-founder of Ethereum, one of the most crucial applications on the blockchain. But as well as notable VCs, Tim Draper, Kevin is the co-founder of Twitch. He's also in Taiwan, working on his new gaming company called Meta Theory. And people in broadcast such as Mike Chinoy, who's working on documentaries and movies in Taiwan. There's also, so over the 8,000 gold card holders, it's been amazing to see the different diverse backgrounds of everyone. People in semiconductor, entrepreneurs, people working on renewable energies, product marketing, or models and dancers. There's quite a lot of software engineers, and they're all providing their skills in very many different ways, many in open source as well. So it's quite amazing to see all the different projects that everyone's working together in Taiwan. So finally, our Gold Card office, we work together with many of the different partners, including TCA. I think one of the greatest things that we've been able to do is as we help people come into Taiwan, we do the marketing, but as well answering the questions they have, but making sure that once they come here, they also feel part of a community. We do have a lot of different events going on in Taiwan, opportunities to meet people, as well as these conferences such as WordCamp Asia. So you can come here and work on your specific area, but making sure you know that there's also other things to do in Taiwan that perhaps would be of interest. We're also one of the main feedback channels to the government. So as the program is still quite a young program, we only started in 2018. We are adapting everything to make sure Taiwan is more global and international. So this leads to just a quick note. So if you do find yourself not qualifying for the gold card, it doesn't mean you can't come to Taiwan. There's many other ways that you can come to work or to visit. One of the resources that we're building up, we just started last month, is called Talent Taiwan. So if you do find yourself after, or you want to stay in Taiwan longer, Talent Taiwan is probably a place for you to look at more information. The website there is talent.nat.gov.tw. We're still building out the information on the site, but most of the visa information you'll find is currently already on there. And one final mention, so one special mention, actually, I guess. So the event will be in Taipei, which is one of the largest cities in Taiwan. But don't forget, there's also many other areas around Taiwan that you can visit. I do hope you extend your visit, either come before the conference or stay after. Tainan is actually one of the most exciting destinations as listed by the National Geographic. It's the oldest city in Taiwan. It's actually the original capital. So not many people know this, but there's so many things to do there, cultural things, whole different kinds of foods that you wouldn't find in Taipei. So it's well worth your visit if you have the time. So that's my quick introduction and presentation of the overall gold card. But as most of you do work in the digital field, I think the criteria there and the detail there, as well as some special incentives, will apply to you. So I'll be passing that on to Anita, who will be taking on the presentation.
Hey, thanks to Jonathan. So so after the slide with so many beautiful pictures, now I'm going to dive into more about digital field gold card. So let me. Okay. So as Jonathan just mentioned, that there are so many fields of gold card, and now we want to focus on talking about digital fields. And this part that we work with Ministry of Digital Affairs, which just newly launched the year before last year in Taiwan. So first of all, let's talk about that what is so-called digital field for us. That the left side may be more easier to understand for you, like machine learning, data analysis, IoT, etc. A little bit overlap with technology. And the right side, that digital marketing, digital content creation, like 3D design or gaming, and fintech, e-commerce, sharing economy, or Web3, blockchain, and open source software like what you guys are doing. So that's definitely digital field can include. So if you find yourself that you're in that field, that you can choose digital field gold card. And what's the qualification of it? That if you meet any one of the following criteria is sufficient. So the right side actually is quite similar with other fields of gold card that I wouldn't go through each one of them. But the left side, that is the special qualification for digital talents. So in this part, that as long as you can prove that you have over 8 years of professional experience in digital economy sectors, that you can apply for it. So talking about the criteria, of course, that if you choose these criteria, that you need to provide some proof. And for if you choose the over 8 years professional experience one, that there are some necessary documents that we will request from you. For example, like employment certificate of each experience, or the company registration if you are entrepreneurs. And there's a format of the resume that we highly recommend you to just download and put your resume and on the format. And you can also provide more supporting materials to speed up the process, like the profile of, like you guys maybe have the profile on WordPress or LinkedIn or GitHub or Drupal, or any kind of portfolio that you think that can be more supportive for your qualification. And for a salary part, that is easier, that you can provide any annual tax statements issued within 3 years. So apart from the tax statement, also that we will need the employment certificate or the company registration if you're an entrepreneur. And those supporting materials is not necessary, but that will, just like I said, that will be more supportive if you can also provide it. So if you choose some other criteria like academic, I think this part is just like other fields that you need to provide the diploma and the supporting documents, that may be a CV to show that, okay, I'm not only the PhD in the top 500 university, but also that I have the digital skills in this field. So that would be more supportive. And the other one, the relevant expertise, that means if you're holding the PhD but it's not 500 global 500 university, that you can also provide the like if you have some patent, or you have some research reports published in public venues, or you have the proof or recognized winning award, like in Taiwan that we have the presidential hackathon or NASA hackathon, etc. So in this part, that you can also, that's also the supportive material for applying, and the slide will be provided, so you can also check on the link that underline to have more detailed information. Okay, so, and I do know that there's some question that has been addressed that about the document verification. So if you're from any of the country among these table, that your documents will need to be sent to the Taiwan embassies or representative representative office nearby you to verify. So, and only if that you're employed by multiple corporations who work in the branch office or branch office in Taiwan, or your foreign exchange or overseas students that who have graduated from the college or school in Taiwan. In this part, that you don't, if you're holding the documentation from the above countries, that you don't need to do the verification. So I know this part will be more complicated and we're open for the question, but yeah. So check if your nationality is on the list. And for the application, there will be the fee for applying this, and it depends on that if you're in Taiwan or not in Taiwan, and if you're holding U.S. passport or not U.S. passport. So, and I have to say that the amount is sometimes updates all the time. So we also provide you the link that you can check the latest change. So, like I mentioned, that the digital field is quite new field for in go-kart, and so the government also want to attract more in digital talent to come to Taiwan. Not only, like Jonathan mentioned, that you don't need to work or resident here, but at least that we hope that you can come here to engage with the industry here. So we do have the incentive program, and the name of the program is quite long. So allow me just call it incentive program. So the detail of the incentive program that I think it will be very beneficial for your trip to Taiwan in March. So if you are go-kart holders and you come to Taiwan for each of any of the activities above, then you are eligible to apply for it. So first of all, you need to apply for a go-kart. And of course, a digital field is the most welcome one. But even if you're not from digital field, that you are still eligible to apply for this incentive program. So if you're coming for business collaboration, any consulting advisory, and exhibitions or pitching in any competition or keynote speech, competition judging, or you're serve as a mentor, and anything that we think that you can engage with the digital economy industry in Taiwan, that we consider that okay, so you can apply for this incentive program. And for example, WordCamp is definitely the activity that we welcome you to apply. So what's the incentive? That the incentive is that we hope that you visit Taiwan. So it depends on where you depart. If you depart from Asia, so the maximum incentive will be 1,300 USD. And if you depart from Europe or North America, that would be 1,800. And if you're from South America, we know that's a long journey and you need to transfer and transfer. So it would be 2,500. And for others will be 1,500. So remember the application period is, it's a kind of promotion. So you need to apply for it before October. And we strong suggest you that you come to Taiwan in March for the WordCamp Asia, that you can apply for this. So since Jonathan also mentioned that it also takes some time for your go-kart to approve, so we suggest that you start to apply right now, and after you get the go-kart, then you can start for this incentive program. And what's the process of this? That we hope that you apply at least 15 working days to let us know that you're coming. And during the everything is online, so you online to fill up the applications, and there will be some information we request you to provide. And the second one, that we need you to provide your go-kart number, or you haven't got your go-kart yet, but at least you have your application number. So at least one of these you need to apply, you need to provide. And then after that, we will send you the approved review later. Say, okay, we welcome you to Taiwan. At this moment that you might start to buy the tickets. And please remember that the vouchers or receipts issued by any third-party payment platform, like if you buy ticket from Agoda, Airbnb, Booking.com, those are not accepted, because that's the really common way. Even I use this platform to arrange my trip. But for this program, that we don't accept the receipt from these. So that's something that we request your cooperation. And okay, after the approval and you bought a ticket, you land in Taiwan. And this part that we so-called fulfilling obligation in Taiwan is that you do what you told us that you're gonna do. So for example, during your application, you say, I'm going for a WordCamp Asia. So, okay, then you come to Taiwan, you did this. And then there are some necessary item that we will request from you, like the hard copy or e-boarding pass from you, and the ticket receipt to show us how much money you pay. So okay, how much money you pay for your ticket, and your passport copy. And the second one, that the receipt of your accommodation fee, because remember that's also can covered by our incentive program. And there are some requirement about that. Oh, please put the tax ID number and the title, and we will, after we accept your submission that will have someone to contact you to keep reminding you. And also the proof of your participation of the event, like you got the invitation, the email, or any meeting notes, etc. And after that, we collect all the materials that we will start to review all of these and process on the payment to you. So once again, let me remind you that all the receipt from the third-party payment platform is not allowed. Okay. So after your trip in Taiwan, I will hope that you can fill up the questionnaire to give us feedback, and also that let us know that what have you, what's the feedback of the event, and that must be done that within 20 calendar days from the day of your arrival in Taiwan. So during during your stay in Taiwan, that any one of our team member will keep contact with you. So if you still have any questions, then feel free to contact us. And first of all, the first step, of course, is apply Go Card and then apply for the incentive program. You can always link in us as well. So last page will be the reminder. So the reminder one is that if you meet the criteria for digital fuel Go Card, for me, okay, I shouldn't let Jonathan to share this, but for me, that we strongly recommend you to choose digital fuel for following reasons. The first one that is before you pay the application fee, because remember there's no refund. So maybe what you can do is you provide us with your documents so we can review, preview it, and to avoid that you paid and then you got rejected and there's no refund. So, and the second one, if you choose the digital field, we can assist you in tracking the progress of your application. That's because the cooperation that we have with the Ministry of Digital Affairs. So apart from seeing it on the website, say under review, that we can tell you that, okay, where your submission at right now. And the third one that we also suggest you to mention in your application from that you are recommended by TCA. So that might help us to speed up your application process. I say might because that means that we will keep calling different departments to speed up the process and to be hated. So, and the second one is that don't buy your tickets or book the hotel by the third-party payment platform if you're applying for the incentive program. If you're pay on your own pocket, of course that you can do whatever you want, but for this program that we do need the receipt from non-third-party payment platform. And the third one, that's something really important, looks something really minor but important, is that keep your boarding pass. And for your trip to Taiwan, that we need the hard copy your boarding pass. And I know for your return trip, depart Taiwan, that you can just take a picture of your boarding pass. That's fine for us. But anyway, we need the boarding pass because the government, they need to know that you have to exit here. So that's I think that's my last page. And please feel free to ask questions from Slido or leave a message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan and Anita, for giving so much thorough information. I especially like the Tainan plug too. It's a beautiful place. I've luckily been able to go, hopefully again. But we do have some questions for you all as well. So we've shared with everyone in the chat the link to our Slido. This is where you can just type in your question, and we're going to start from the top as well. We see some people have upvoted some questions and answer them live as well with our two guests. So if we're all okay, I'll start reading some of the questions. Does that work for you? Perfect. Okay, so we've got one at the top here. They need a guide of document verification and letter of guarantee. One, how can we know which kind of qualification documents should be verified by the embassy? I feel like that was answered, but
partially. I mean, I could clarify it. That's fine.
Yes.
So depending on the passport of origin, so with the passport of the different countries or nationalities, it has to do with the inability to verify some of the documents on the Taiwan side. So there is a list of countries if your passport is from those countries, and the document you're submitting was issued within those countries, so say from a college or a business. Those documents do need to be authenticated by the Taiwan representative offices in that region. So that provides just more confirmation that those documents are real and verified. In terms of the letter of guarantee, I think, Anita, do you have a response for this?
I think apart from your answer, that also the slide that shows the country, that if you're from those country or your documentation issued by those country, that like what you say, that you need to be verified. So so far I do have nothing else to add.
So in terms of the document verifications, that's the kind of qualification documents that need to be verified. So if it's coming from a college or from a business or something issued within that country.
I see they wrote one. I don't see two. If this was your question, feel free to add your follow-up and we'll try to get to it later. But I do see another interrelated question asking about letter of guarantee. Could we, it moved. Could we request the authority to help finish this form? I'm not sure which authority they're referring to. Maybe it's the Taiwan embassy.
Or WordCamp Asia or something, because it's a guarantee later, right?
Yeah.
I can jump in here.
Okay.
So if you need a letter of guarantee, you will have to contact WordCamp Asia 2024 through email. I will paste the email later in the chat. And basically we will request information like your WordPress profile, your resume, certificate of employment, and of course your passport scan. And we will review your application based on your role at WordCamp Asia 2024. For example, maybe you're a speaker. We will also review based on your contribution to WordPress community. And once we have reviewed everything, we think, okay, you passed, we will ask you to fill out the letter of guarantee form and we will sign it for you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for jumping in there, Yuli, WordCamp Asia organizer. Okay, then moving along, we have another question. They have submitted and paid for their application, but their documents haven't been verified. What is the process and how could they apply for document verification?
I can help answer this. So the review process, it does take place online, but it does go through very many different departments. When they find that some of the documents you've submitted are missing verification or missing in overall, they will email you, and you can go back onto the portal to check their comments. So during this process, it's a back and forth process. So they won't reject your application outright. They will usually come back to you and ask, oh, they see a particular document that needs verification, or a particular document that seems to be missing. So you do have opportunities to get your documents verified even after you paid. So there will be this back and forth. When they request something, you can go get the documents verified and then re-upload. That does take a longer time. So we do recommend that you understand the process and make sure you know which documents are needed. So this shortens the time of review, so there's less back and forth.
This may be necessary. Also check that you're not getting junk mail. Everything's not getting sent to your junk mail as well. That can happen, especially when working with international agencies. So be vigilant there too. Okay, so moving along here, we've got a question about, some countries, they might not have a Taiwan embassy. Could the document verification and passport inspection be done by travel agents? I'm not sure if they mean by like on site when they land or via sending email, but maybe do you have an idea here?
Yes. So Similar to the last question, so the document verification takes place at the Taiwan representative offices. So if there's one in your country, then you can arrange an appointment, show them your documents, and they will basically provide a stamp to say that this document's been authenticated. If there isn't a representative office in your country, unfortunately, you will need to go find the one closest to you, a region or something. Each office does the verification process slightly differently. So it's recommended to either email or call them in advance before making the trip. Some may accept sending mail form. So if you send the documents, and they will verify. But again, each of them have a different process, so it's worth checking in advance. As for the passport inspection, this usually does take place in person. It's a very, very last step. So it's something worth doing once everything's been approved. So that's something to consider later on. For some passport holders, actually, if they have travel on visas, you can actually come to Taiwan first. But this only relates to the countries that have, for example, a visa exempt entry. So that's something also to consider depending on which passport nationality you hold.
Oh, thank you. I have a feeling. Oh, sorry, please, Anita.
Yeah, no, I'm just ready for the next question.
Oh, okay, awesome. I think they're actually related, so I'm going to try to combine them. It seems like they're the same. Is filling out the resume provided on Gold Card official website a must, or could applicants prepare an open platform such as LinkedIn, WordPress.org?
Yeah, for those LinkedIn and Dribble or GitHub, that's the supporting documents, and for the resume, I'm afraid that's the must. So that's why that we also provide you the link to download the format. Should I just go on to the next question?
I'm actually kind of curious with the
Yes.
resume one. Are there any like resume flags or something that folks should be maybe aware of, or like formatting? Maybe this is in the process itself, but I'm kind of wondering if there's some underlying,
If you go on the application website and then you choose digital field, and so go to the upload part, that there will be a request to ask you to upload the passport pictures and the resume, and in this part that there's a format there that you can download. So for this part, that will be necessary. But of course, that if you have the history or the record on the GitHub or WordPress, that will speed up the review. So that's a supportive one, but not necessary one.
Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
yeah, so the next one, if I receive the Gold Card, do I have to go to Taiwan alone to collect it, or can my spouse and child accompany me on the first entry?
So after the application gets approved, so you don't actually receive the card overseas. So once the card's been approved, you've got your passport inspected, you're able to download what's known as resident authorization certificate. So that provides the Gold Card holder with a single entry to go into Taiwan. So with that, you can also apply for the family visiting visas. So if your spouse or children require visas to travel, you can apply for this family visa through the TECO offices, the Taiwan Economic Cultural Offices. And so they also have a accompanying visa to travel with you. So it's not required for you to come alone to collect it first. You can come either or, but the card is collected in Taiwan. You just use the paper version to travel first.
Okay, so like once you've got approval and you got the paper version, that's when you can apply for your spouse or your other
children's visas.
Okay, children's visas. Cool.
Correct.
And then we have we heard that talk about don't use like Airbnb or third-party platforms. So there's a question about, do I, buy my airplane ticket direct on Eva Air and my hotel on Hilton, and that's the only accepted route here? What can we work with?
Okay, that's the most recommended way, and also otherwise that you can find either the travel agent from your country or Taiwan to help you to arrange the flight or hotel. So for the travel agent, the receipt from them is acceptable. And for someone that you might have already bought the tickets and through using the third party, that one that you can still apply, but 20, I think more than 20% of the tax will be deducted for that. Yeah, and I think in the slide that you can also get the website of the incentive program, and you got all the details, and it's mentioned that what gonna happen if you buy the tickets using the third party.
Is there like a list somewhere that people could maybe reference of, what is harder to, or is it just,
We actually have tried that, maybe some yes and some no's, but we're afraid that the yes will be kind of that marketing for them, and the no. So yeah, we strongly recommend you that just buy the ticket directly from the airline company or the hotel itself. Otherwise, the second choice will be from the travel agent. And if you buy ticket from the third party, and the 20% of the amount will be deducted.
and then if you have any other questions, you're unsure, just email and get some advice from the
Yes.
professionals on the line now.
Yes.
Okay.
And
did we go over that one? It just appeared.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the over 8 years experience in digital sector, that you don't really need to work in the company. So as long as maybe in your resume that you mentioned that you have you are a freelancer and you have working on some program, or you have some portfolio already, and that you can prove that is since 8 years ago, that's so called that we over 8 years profession. Yeah, so the answer of this question is that no, it's not only valid if you are with a company. So if you're a freelancer, and the thing is that you need to provide some supporting material to prove that, though.
Right. So like self-employed, and this is where I was working, these are projects kind of thing.
And maybe some portfolios, something. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've got someone who's from Pakistan, but they live in Malaysia now. They have a PhD from Malaysia, ranked 129. Good for you. And should I send the PhD certificate to the Taiwan Embassy in Malaysia?
Yes, that's correct. That would be the most suitable route for them. So the Malaysian embassy can verify authenticate the PhD.
And the last one here, are we still eligible for the incentive program? Okay, yeah, we did kind of answer that. So
yeah, like 20% of the amount
20%.
will be deducted.
Okay. So that is the last of the questions right now. Folks, if you're still on Slido typing something, let me give you a moment. Are there any other kinds of questions that weren't raised in this webinar yet, but from your experience, Jonathan and Anita, that you still get a lot, and maybe you can bring that to us today?
I guess I could just like to make the point that, it does take, this is a visa process, so it can seem very comprehensive and take a long time, but it is well worth it. So you have the end result is a 3-year open visa. So you do need to be a little patient. It will go through quite a complex process in the beginning. We've done our best to make it as streamlined as possible. But in a sense, if there's questions and it does seem frustrating, reach out to us, and we're happy to help where we can.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that. And we've got a couple more here. If you the 3 years has completed, do you need to renew the gold card before you can apply for permanent resident status? Oh, they want to live in forever in Taiwan. Awesome.
No, that's great. The gold card does not lead directly to a permanent resident status, just to clarify that. So you do need to apply for the permanent resident status after the 3 years. So that does mean you need to be on either a different visa or to extend the gold card or to renew it, which is renewable, or be on a different type of visa, or if you're already abroad by then, it's depending on your individual status. But so effectively after the gold card, if you have been in Taiwan for the required amount of time, then you can apply for the permanent resident status. But depending on if you need to be in the country, you may need to renew the gold card or be on a different visa.
So for the last question, it's not the last question. Yeah. So would the Taiwan entrepreneur visa be more suitable for freelancers? For entrepreneur visa, it also allow you to get the multiple entry to Taiwan. And I remember that, but not sure if my memory is right. Now, entrepreneur visa the longest that you can get 2 years stay. But there's a requirement that since it's called entrepreneur visa, that means that during your stay in Taiwan, you need to start your business, your corporate. So that's the main point. So if after that you didn't start your entrepreneurship, then that the visa will be valid. Yes. So of course, maybe for the criteria, that maybe will be easier to meet the criteria for entrepreneur visa, and but for a gold card, that will be something more long term, and it doesn't require you to start your own business during any certain period of time.
Thank you. The last one's on what are the additional service fees to accommodate the gold card applications, to evaluate to check the eligibility, I guess the verification process maybe, other than the government fee. Are there any other fees that people should know about?
Correct. I mean, so the application itself is online. There was a table that Anita had shown. That's the application fee for the gold card. Any additional service fees will depend on if, for example, you do need to get certain documents stamped and authenticated. There may be some fees there, but other than that, there actually isn't any other fees. So it's actually quite friendly, and I think it's as if the fees are as competitive as any other visa fees. So it's not particularly expensive, actually.
As I remember, it's like $5 or 5 to 8 something. Okay, so if you need help with the Taiwan Gold Card application, that you can get help from TCA. Yes. So I don't know how to share our contact, but I think from the slides, there's our contact. That feel free to contact us.
I want to jump in here as well. So on our WordCamp Asia 2024 website, on the Gold Card page, there's a button, Get One-on-One Help. That's also the form that we'll send out to TCA. That's one way as well.
And we have 2 more minutes left, I'm noticing, so not a lot of time, but is there a very quick answer to our last question about renewing the gold card at the end of the 3 years? And then for any other follow-up questions, we can try to answer those async.
I'll try to answer these 3 all together then. First point, so if you're applying for the gold card, apply for the maximum 3 years. Process is the same. So you want to just shoot for the moon, basically. It will be the same if the 1 year review or the 3 years. So just apply for 3 years. renewing the gold card depends on how you applied for it in the beginning. So depending on which criteria you fulfill. Some of the criteria will be the same. So if you have graduated with a doctorate diploma, then you obviously are still a doctorate graduate. But if you qualified under salary, for example, it will depend on what you've been doing during those 3 years and if the circumstances are the same. And then as for the quotas, there's no set quotas, as in there's no maximum quota. We welcome and would like as many people to come apply as possible. So it's, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your network, people that want to come to Taiwan and interested to engage in Taiwan, we welcome you to apply. And if you qualify for several categories, the recommendation is actually depending on which document you have most easily obtainable. So if you have certain certificates or documents that are on hand and you don't need to go request them, so that actually makes it more straightforward for the review. So in that sense, that's what we would recommend. The last one that just came in, you can apply for the gold card. So the gold card is an individual visa. So once you get it, you're able to apply for the visas for your family, which includes your spouse and children under the age of 20. So for this person, the husband and the 4-year-old kid, they're welcome to join the gold card holder on a family resident visa.
Okay, you did it. We're right on time. Thank you
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
And Anita for
That's
joining us
amazing.
today, answering all these questions. We've been sharing some links in the chat as well of where you can get help on the site and some of the links to the gold card site as well. But yeah, they will be your go-to people. Of course, you can always ask the WordCamp Asia organizers, but of course, we've got these two professionals, directors who know exactly what they're doing and would love to help you as well. So thank you very much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you in Taiwan in 2 months.
March. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'm looking forward to see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.